What's shaken, and welcome to the first official episode of Around the World in AD. I am Andy, otherwise known as AD, otherwise known as Hype. Seems like I have a personality crisis. I'd like to welcome anybody out there who has aspirations for anything creative, okay? So this could be videography, photography, editing, music, you name it. A little bit of everything. We hope to tackle a lot of those topics on this channel. Aside from that, what? What do you mean the mic's not on? All this time I've been recording, they can't hear me? What the? Forgive us for that. That was an unfortunate practical joke played on me by a member of our staff. Too many recreationals before came into work. As I was saying prior to all that, we're here to help sustain and build up and grow a community of creators, creatives, you name it. We'd like to hear from you, see you, interact with you. Before we go any further, thank you so much for taking the time out to check us out. Hey, if you're feeling it, make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe, and turn on the little bell notification so that you know when and if we'll be dropping another video. Because if this goes off the rails and the ship sinks, so, how about we get started? This first episode I thought would be kind of clever to do something, and I've seen many tutorials on YouTube on how to do this, but we're gonna do it with a little bit of a twist, kind of remix the whole process. And listen, take it easy on me. I know there's probably some experts out there that know how to do this on probably at a better level, but this is a cool way of kind of reinventing that wheel. And we'll take a second to describe what is going on over there. What do you mean it's a bug? It's not a bug. Ah, it's a bug! I don't know how to say this, but there was a raisin. Okay, so before any more disasters befall us here today, how about we get started? Roll it. All right, so here's the setup. What we're gonna do today is take multiple images, stack them together to create a high-resolution image that is both tonally dynamic, with amazing sharpness and low noise characteristics, even if we're shooting at high ISOs. Sometimes the best way to demonstrate this is with a landscape. And, living in Central Florida, most of the landscape is greenery, except if you head into downtown Orlando and visit Lake Eola Park. This was the location I chose to be able to demonstrate this amazing technique. Once I found the composition that suited me, I set up my camera right against a rail. I didn't have a tripod with me, although you could do this technique handheld, and maybe in a later video we'll go over that. I shot RAW, and I used my Canon 80D. That's right, not a full frame. That just goes to show you that you can do this with pretty much any equipment if you know what you're doing. I went ahead and snapped off 10 consecutive shots. At that point, I rushed back home, and this is the process. And just to be clear, I am using Adobe Lightroom Classic and Adobe Photoshop to complete this particular technique. So what I've done here is I've loaded all the photos into Lightroom. So once I edited the first photo, got it to a place where I felt like this was a winning combination, right-click on it, and what you want to do is that you want to edit in, but you want to open all these images as layers. Now that they're all in here as layers, granted they're raw files, so they're a little bit larger and they probably take up a little more computing power and some resources from your computer. Here's the coolest trick involved in this. This is all a smart object kind of a deal. So what you want to do is you want to select all 10 layers, you want to right click, and you want to convert to Smart Object. It'll take a few moments. Once that's done, you then want to proceed up to the top of Photoshop, and you're going to go to Layer, then look for Smart Objects. From there, you want to go to Stack Mode, and then from the list that appears there, for the most optimum results, you want to select Median. Let me explain what's actually happening. Photoshop is actually taking every one of these images and it's combining them. Now, it doesn't just combine them and stack them up like merging layers or flattening layers in Photoshop. What it's actually doing is it analyzes each and every photo, and whatever's different in every photo, it omits. Once it's finished, what you get is a much smoother looking image. You'll notice that dynamic range seems to be a little more under control. And definitely, by zooming in, you'll notice that the noise is almost non-existent. What's left here is a little bit of film grain, but you know what? That's grain. And that's part of the artistic presentation. That's very different from noise. Film grain doesn't really mess with your details in the images. Noise will smear your details, kind of taking away your natural sharpness, elements of definition that you can see in anything, really. Especially at higher noise levels produced by high ISOs. And we're able to make something spectacular out of it. The beauty is, this is a technique that we can also use with phones. If you guys would like to see that, by all means, in the comments below, drop us a line, give us some ideas actually for future episodes, and let us know if you'd like to see us do this entire image stacking trick with cell phone photos. I myself would actually be interested to see how well it does with highlight retention, details, noise handling, all that cool stuff. As for this one, call it a steak because it's done. All right, well, so long. Catch you next time, folks. Where's the Tylenol?